Well, hello everybody. Happy New Year. This is AL Big Madame, and I'm coming at y'all with a video. I'm trying to do like I told y'all I was going to do in 2018. So, it's 2019. So, I'm going to try my best to, throw some videos out there. And I've actually been requested by people to actually put out more videos of things that have happened to me. So, I'm doing a story time today. Oh Lord, y'all. So this video is about when I met my ex and how my situation with him led me to almost commit suicide. So I'm gonna try to be as brief as I can because y'all know I can get long-winded. It just is what it is. So let's get this started. So I started college at Alabama State University in Montgomery, Alabama, my home city. And this was in 2002. Cool. So, y'all might think it's weird, strange, or, ooh, wait a minute, when I tell y'all this, but I used to get online and talk to people. For me, that was a way that I could kind of, in a way, I ain't even gonna lie, I would kind of waste time and in between classes. If I didn't have anything to do, if I didn't have a paper to type up, or even if I did, I would at some point in time, I would make time to get online. So at the time, there is this particular website that I don't even know if it's even still in existence anymore. But at the time, the website was called collegeclub.com. So I got on there and I'd been active on there for quite some time. And I ended up being on there one day in between classes. I was bored. So I was like, oh, let me get online, whatever. And so they have places throughout the campus that you can go, but I was in an organization that was government funded, and it was an extension of another program that was also government funded, and from when I was in high school. And so I had already basically been told that, I would be able to meet the qualifications in order to be able to be a part of that organization. So I started, and not long after I started there, I ended up being introduced and I was able to go. So what we do there, they actually have a building and you can go in there and get on the computers, be on the internet, type up your stuff, print off your papers that you were typing up, all that good stuff. And in the meantime, in between time, when we're not there were trips that were planned that were within the city or nearby, or whenever we had big trips. I know the last trip I went on, we went to Washington D.C. It was amazing. So yeah, it was that organization as a whole. That was the only reason why I was able to travel as much as I was and did while I was growing up, because the only place I'd been outside of Alabama was to the surrounding states and to Indiana, and that was because I have relatives that migrated from Alabama to up there, and so that's why we would go up there. A lot of my daddy's siblings, they moved up there to get away from all this Jim Crow business down here, y'all. So anyway, my arm hurts, so I'm gonna do random angles, y'all. I'm sorry. So anyway, back to the story. So I ended up um, I ended up getting on the website, collegeclub.com. And this one particular day I got on there and I was talking to people. And then there's a part on there where they have instant messages. Now, that was like maybe the second instance in my whole life I'd ever seen an instant message. Or it might have been the first time I saw it. But anyway, I didn't even know they had that application on there as a part of it until a message came up one day. So anyway, by this time I'm used to it. So I get an instant message. It popped up while I was on there doing other stuff, because you can send regular messages to people that have seen your profile, and they just talk about whatever. Y'all talk back and forth, and you can decide whether or not you want to continue talking to them or block them. But it was free. Anyway, this particular day, I get a message. And so, we're going back and forth, and I'm talking to this dude, and then all of a sudden, he asks me where I am, because he didn't know if I was on campus at the moment or not. And so I was like, oh, I'm on campus. He was like, oh, where? Cool. So I told him that I was in that building. He was like, oh, I kind of told him, I was like, oh, well, you probably never heard of this. And so I said, I'm in this organization, da-da-da-da. And he was like, what? I am too. And so I was like, oh, well, that's where I am. I'm in that building. So he gets offline. Y'all, my mind didn't even connect it. And I was just like, oh, why you get offline? So I went on by my business. I just started doing other stuff. Y'all, within 5 minutes, I feel somebody behind me, and I was like, wait a minute. And then it dawned on me. I was like, I bet this is the dude. So I end up turning around, swiveling around in the chair that I'm in, and it's the guy. So he ends up, rolling up on me. And he had like this kind of grin on his face, I guess because he was pleased with what he saw. So, you know what I'm saying, y'all? I'm big. And even then, I was big, but I didn't really have a stomach. And I was like wearing medium and large shirts. Y'all. So, yeah, I didn't have no back roll or nothing at the time. I've always been pear-shaped. So I always had hips, booty, thighs, and calves. And I've just always had big flabby arms or whatever. But I didn't have a stomach. But those days are long gone. Things can change, but I'm just saying. Just trying to give y'all a visual of what it was back then, y'all. So anyway, I just swiveled around the chair. He got like a little grin on his face because I guess he liked what he saw. So whatever, y'all. So we end up being fast friends. So I'm talking about, it was to the point where when you saw me, you saw him. Cool. Okay, y'all. So, yes, I'm a Christian, but I'm not going to sit up here and sugarcoat nothing to try to make it seem like I'm an angel. We had gotten to the point where, we would have sex from time to time. And I don't even want to say we were cut buddies, but that's kind of like what it would seem like it was. And because of my history with sexual traumas, I didn't get anything out of the situation, if you understand what I mean. Hopefully you do, because I don't really want to go into depth about that. But I'm just making it plain because I'm brutally honest. I don't mind just telling you what the situation really is instead of trying to sugarcoat something because I want to be seen as an angel, because I'm not an angel and I'm not perfect. I already know that. So anyway, we were really good friends, and it got to a point where we would, do things sexually from time to time. So cool, in my mind, I'm not thinking of a relationship still because, like I said, I'm there to do my schoolwork. I'm not worried about that. So it gets to a point where everybody thought we were a couple. And even though we had eventually gotten to that point where we were having sex from time to time, when people would approach us and automatically assume we were a couple, like we literally would like have hearty laughs. Like, are you serious? Like, what you mean? That's my friend. Like that's how crazy it was. Like in my mind, I never even pictured him as somebody that I was interested in like that. And it's not like he wasn't attractive to me. I had no issue with how he looked. It's just I didn't look at him that way. Because like I said, I'm there to do my schoolwork. I wasn't worried about having no kind of relationship, dating, and none of that. So anyway, y'all, everybody is just setting it off. Everybody live for us. They think we're a couple. And so then one day I actually started thinking about it, and I was like, that wouldn't be a bad thing. Like, we are really, really close. We talk. We would literally talk all throughout the day. If we weren't in classes or at work, we would talk. And then, like, if I was at my job, because at the time when he first met me, the only job I had was working at records and registration online. Not online. Oh, Lord, y'all, I'm fine. Records and registration, which is the records department at Alabama State University. I had to sign my checks over every month, y'all. It was terrible until I got all that straightened out. But anyway, that was the only job I had at the time. Then I started working at Winn-Dixie, so I was juggling 2 jobs, and I had a full course load, whatever, y'all. So anyway, so I said that to say that sometimes I was able to talk when I was at work because I was literally at school, and I did a lot of important things despite me working in records and registration. But yeah, anyway, so y'all, if people don't quit sending me messages, it's just random stuff. So anyway, it got to a point where I thought about that thing, and I was like, would it be bad if we were in a relationship? Like, we doing things like we are together. Like, we spend so much time together. Like, it literally was to the point where even before he moved off campus, we would be basically booed up. Like, just talking outside of his dorm, because I think they changed it now, but when he lived, all the dorms that he's lived in, females cannot go in there. And the men could not go to the women's dorms either. And do all that stuff, y'all. So you can't be in there to talk. You can't do nothing, not unless you're just in the foyer. So yeah. So we would just be out in the car or outside. We literally would stand outside for hours and talk at my car or at his car or in his car or whatever, y'all. So, yeah. So anyway, it got to the point where I thought about it, and I was like, well, would that be bad? So, I'm old school. I'm, a traditional type of Southern woman, and I'm used to seeing the men chase the women and ask them out and all that stuff. But that particular day, I was like, oh, so we're in a new age, whatever, y'all. I hype, like, y'all understand. I ended up asking him to be my boyfriend. So this is how it went, y'all. It was so sad. I have asthma already, right, y'all? When I tell y'all I was so anxious, I was so nervous, I was just so overcome with fear, like paralyzing fear. I thought that my chest was gonna explode. My heart was just gonna be out on the floor across the street somewhere. Like, that's how bad it was. As easy as it was to talk to him, when it came to me actually rolling up on him and being like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We've been, cool. And we literally are like best friends at this point. So I'm over here being the woman and I'm asking him out. Y'all, it was killing me. So I finally got up the nerve and I asked him out. Y'all, tell me why he shot me down. And he told me that he ain't looking for nobody right now and all this other stuff or whatever, right? But y'all, that hurt me bad. But tell me why a week later he went and got a whole heifer. I was just like, I really was like, how dare you? I really sat up here and I planned this out for like a month and got up the nerve finally to ask you to be my boyfriend. And you told me straight up that you wasn't interested in no type of relationship at all because you didn't feel like you needed to be in a relationship right now. And then a week later, he got with somebody else, y'all. So anyway, we're going to gloss over that part. They ended up not working out for whatever reason. So then he rolled up on me. Y'all, I remember the date and everything. It's just weird because of how the way the dates fell. Anyway, he rolled up on me in 2006. 2005, 2006. Y'all, anyway. And so we ended up eventually becoming a couple, right? Cool. And basically nothing changed except our titles. And, you know what I'm saying? He ended up moving off campus. I would be at his house just about every day. And since I lived on the rural outskirts of Montgomery County, for me, I really enjoyed being off campus and not going home right away if I did go to school that day, or if I didn't go to work. And sometimes I would get off work. I would literally get off work and go to his house just to lay down, go to sleep, watch a TV show because he had cable too. Like, it was just a lot. Like, I was just so excited to just be away from home, y'all. So anyway, we end up being together. The whole duration of our actual relationship was exactly a year and a half. So, okay. So I already went with him one time when we were dating to I don't want to say where he's from, but anyway, he's from another part of Alabama. And I went to see his mother and his grandmother, who his grandmother, I've been told, is now deceased. But yeah, I went to see his family, and like he is like the child, the one that all of the family loves. They cherished him. So like he really was like super duper spoiled. Like everybody lives for him, y'all. So I get there and everything was cool. Like this was a Thanksgiving one year. Ended up going, and that takes like hours, like 2-3 hours to get to where he lives, that particular part of Alabama, y'all. So spent Thanksgiving with them. School was out, of course, so we spent a couple of days there, and then I came back. Cool, y'all. Everything was lovely. I feel like everything going fine. And y'all tell me why the next Thanksgiving comes around, or Christmas came around. One of them came around, y'all, and I didn't go home with him. So what happened was, I think the year I went with him, we weren't officially a couple. So the next year, we were a couple. But he made up an excuse, and he was like, yeah, I'm going home. And I'm thinking, I'm your girlfriend this year. I'm really going home with you. So he was like, no, I don't even think I'm going to stay down there that long, so I'm just going to go home and come back. Whatever his excuse was, he said he was going to go home. And I was like, oh, okay, in my mind, I'm the type of, I've always prided myself on being that type of girlfriend where I'm not going to nag you. I'm not going to tell you you can't have female friends. I'm not going to restrict anything that you want to do, as long as the things that you want to do and are doing do not involve cheating on me. And I've outlined what cheating is to me, because there are people who think that some of the things that I think are cheating, they're not cheating. So anyway, y'all, he had this excuse about him going home. So to make a long story short, he sat up here and he took side chick home to his mama and them. I was cool with one of his best friends at the time, and I don't know if he knows this. He should. But anyway, as far as what I'm about to say after this, so his best friend was talking to me, and we used to talk from time to time on the phone, because he lives still in that city or whatever. He doesn't live in Montgomery. So I would only have access to him only when I would go there, or if I would talk to him on the phone. So anyway, and just to make it clear, so don't nobody think, oh, somebody was trying to make a play for his best friend or anything like that. The guy actually asked me to talk to him. I guess people like when I talk to them or whatever, and I have a way with words. I guess that's why, as far as social work is concerned. So since I feel like I speak well enough when it comes to that realm, that's why it seemed like I was the perfect candidate to talk to his friend and just, be somebody who he can vent and be able to just randomly talk to and just whatever, because he really wouldn't even talk to anybody. Anyway, y'all, he done took the side chick home to his mama and them. His best friend eventually tells me after the situation is over, because he's one of those friends where, well, I ain't got nothing to say. And when the situation ended, y'all, a couple of months later, the literal first day of classes of what is supposed to be my last semester at ASU, he dumped me. I don't even want to go into that, y'all. I don't even really try to be on here all night. But to make a long story short, at the end of that particular night, I had a night class that year, and he dumped me. Y'all, I'm sorry about that. I got interrupted. Anyway, so, Lord, he ended up dumping me at the end of that particular night, like right before I had to go to my class. And that class lasts like, Lord, jeez, I forgot how long that class lasts. But it was literally that night. He kept trying to dump me all day. And I really feel like the Lord intervened, because I was not trying to hear nothing he was saying. I was like, oh, hey, whatever. And it was just a good day to reunite with everybody that was in the social work department, all that stuff, y'all. Anyway, he ended up dumping me, y'all. When I tell y'all, I was so distraught. Like, I really actually was in disbelief because I'm just like, ain't no way. Like, what is the reason? He wouldn't tell me for a while. He was just like, I just don't think that we're supposed to be together or whatever. And I was just like, it gotta be a reason. You ain't finna just roll up out of nowhere and be like, oh, I'm waking up and now I just think we shouldn't be together when we have fit so perfectly, even before we became a couple. So what really is the situation? What really is the problem? Y'all, I got to the point where I became so obsessed with wanting to know what the truth was because I didn't care nothing what he was talking about. I was like, ain't no way you just done with me just because. I got so obsessed that I would call and text him and be like, you need to set up a day and time when we can meet up so you can tell me what the reason is. Because you can't tell me that the reason why you ain't with me no more is just because you woke up and you just said, oh, we don't need to be together no more. Y'all, he finally met up with me. We set up a day and time. So I'm nervous as I don't know what. We met up at this random spot at ASU. And he goes to tell me that the reason why he left me was because I did not want to exercise. And I had basically told me because I had a stomach. Keep in mind, y'all, at the time, even after we had gotten together, I barely had that much of a pudge. And he made it seem like because he asked me in a moment when he would ask me and I would say not right now, in his mind it was translating into, oh, I don't want to work out at all. And I'm just like, you got with me and I was big. Like, I don't think he was trying to say that he wanted me to lose the weight and become a twig. It was just he was talking about getting active in general. And so I was just like, something ain't right. Like, this is a lie. Y'all, eventually the truth came out. And it was because he had a side heifer. And y'all, it was just a whole ordeal. Like, that whole situation, I don't even want to go into because it's just so dumb. It was just so stupid, y'all. I can't. Everything that he left me for, it was just stupidity. And then he realized after it was over, y'all, he tried to get me back. Y'all, my favorite instructor realized what the situation was. She wasn't here for him. Like, he would come to all of my classes. He would pop up and like bring me little gifts and wait for me. Like, he did the most. And we tried, or at least I tried. I mean, he tried too, but I'm just saying I tried, but I couldn't get over it. And y'all, it just got to a point where and this was before he came back to me. This was way after all the stupidity went on with the side heifer. Y'all, after he finally told me, I was like, this cannot be real life where you sit up here and you do this to somebody. He sat up there and did this to me after all that I've done for him, after everything I'd gone through. And I just felt thrown away. Y'all, I had dropped into this really, really, really deep depression to the point where since that was my last semester, I was supposed to be graduating, y'all. I sat up there. I didn't even register myself the way I was supposed to so that I could graduate on time. I was supposed to take one class, this one particular class, y'all. I messed myself up. I ain't registered myself for it, and then I ended up, by the time I realized the classes were full. So then, to add insult to injury, I already finna graduate late if I do graduate. I had gotten to the point where I was just like, why? I'm not gonna graduate on time. Now I'm gonna look like a fool because I ain't graduating on time, y'all. I was actually about to drop out of school and I actually stopped going to my classes. I would just leave home and then just go on campus and be in that room basically all day. And I would go to my work study job if I felt like it. And it was just a disaster, y'all. It was just so terrible. So one day, I became so depressed. This was so bad. I wasn't sleeping or anything, y'all. It was bad. I got so depressed one day that I went to school and I literally hadn't slept for days. Y'all, I was so tired. And I mean, but my eyes wouldn't close. Like, it was just so bad. I was that depressed. Y'all, I finally left ASU and driving around the city, and I went home. I was driving home, y'all. I had made a plan and everything. I said, what I'm going to do is, since I'm so tired and I'm finally going to try to go to sleep, I said, I'm going to close my eyes 2 minutes away from home, which was basically where our church was, and just let the wheel go and just fall asleep and just let myself die going through this man's pasture, or wherever my car decides to go. Y'all, I was about to go around that curb and just let myself die, get mangled up or whatever, y'all. It was so crazy. But in all honesty, to this day, I feel like God spoke to me, and I ended up pulling in the driveway. I really was closing my eyes and everything, and then I opened them up. And I ended up going into our parking lot. And it's like something just told me, just drop to your knees. I got out of the car and I went up the steps and dropped to my knees and just started sobbing. Y'all, I couldn't even believe it. I really was about to kill myself. So, y'all, I had never been that depressed in all my life. And I'd been through a whole lot of suicidal moments, but that was like the worst, y'all. I just could not even believe that I allowed a man who I thought cared about me bring me down to that level. But yeah, y'all, I am way better. I have had some moments after that, but I am way better. I'm not dealing with him at all. It had gotten to the point where he tried to get back with me. I wasn't here for it. And then, he finally got the hint that I was not trying to deal with him. He ended up moving back home, and he actually started calling me. And since I had the same number for the longest, it got changed years ago now. But he would call me. And at first it would be like once a week, and then it started dwindling off to once every 6 months. Then he finally got the hint, because he really would call and be like, well, maybe she'll change her mind. He would call me. And I really would be like in the middle of doing something at my job, and he would call me. And I would just be like, let me just answer this phone. So he'll get off this phone and leave me alone. Y'all, he finally got the hint and he left me alone as far as that was concerned. Well, I ended up in a relationship, and he randomly sent me a message. And basically, he wasn't mean or anything. He was like, hey, how you doing? And it was online. It was an email, because my number changed. So that was the only way he was going to be able to get in contact with me. So he sent me a message. I still have the messages to this day. And the person ended up basically cussing him out and was like, don't talk to her. She ain't got nothing to say to you and all this other stuff. Or whatever. I didn't say any of that, but that's just what happened with that situation. And to this day, he still associates with my mother, my father, my sister, my brother, and his mother does too. Like, they get gifts from one another. He has a whole wife and kids and all this other stuff, and they still associate with him. I've never understood that, but I don't have anything to do with him. I am past it, and I have no problem with saying hey or happy birthday or something like that. I'm not friends with him, but I don't see the point in saying hey, we cool like that, and we gonna hang out and be cool like we were before, or any of that. I can be cordial, but that's all you get from me. So, that was my story time, y'all. I was tired. I went through a lot. It was too much, and it's over. And whatever happens in I don't know if it's near or distant future, it just happens. Don't know if marriage is going to be in the cards for me, but, if it is, great. If not, that's fine too. Anyway, I'll see y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good night. Bye.